Danganronpa.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 4 Pixels. Cocoon Kinetsu here, and we are continuing Danganronpa.
Hey, are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you? Who would enjoy reading something like this? Oh my, you don't like manga? A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like to eat candy.
Me?
Enough! What is this messed up manga? I thought you'd obviously know about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but... For you not to remember that. Such despair! That's the Future Foundation's fault, though. Thanks to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during that period has been completely removed from your brains. This incident really happened, and I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible! How many times do I have to tell you? All the clues here are real! Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives in the outside world. I see. So that's how it is. That's what he meant by what he said at the beginning. Well, as the headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know. On one hand, I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate. But on the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world. That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island, or stay here. He's trying to make us feel despair toward the outside world so we'll want to stay on this island. But there's no way I'm going to do what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope. Just like now. Perhaps... no, that's definitely it. Whether or not this incident really happened, what in the world is this ultimate despair group? If they're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope's Peak Academy to its destruction, are they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Plus, that organization isn't just one person, but a group of people. But if they're known as Ultimate Despair, they're high school students, right? Well, if they were actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they're called Ultimates. Then are the killings we're involved in connected to them as well? It's no use! I'm gonna freeze to death! I'm at my limit. I need to get out of here. Shivering, I ran out of the freezing room. Ugh, that was close. I nearly froze to death.
Yeah, well, if you're still shivering, you weren't that close. So suck it up, Hinata.
So where should I go next? Wow, wow.
Are we going this way? No, we can't go that way yet.
Yes, no more manga. No, I should ignore it. I'm just going to pretend I didn't see him. I'm right here.
When I went inside this room, that bastard bear was suddenly here.
Hello?
He keeps glancing at me.
Ooh.
I wonder why. Ugh. It's gonna be shitty either way. So I'll let you handle it. There's no way I'm gonna deal with that idiot.
I don't want to do that either. Hello?
Oh, time to go.
I'm reluctant to do it, but I guess I have to talk to Monokuma. Why, hello, Hajime! I hope you're doing pleasingly well. Are you pleasingly well? You're pleasingly well, right? What are you doing here? Well, there was another thing I needed to tell you on this floor. I got bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth? You should have done that from the beginning. I didn't want to read your manga in the first place. A high school student who doesn't like manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pots. I'm getting really fed up with your babbling. Hurry up! What did you need with me? What did you need to tell me? It's about that key piece of information you've been waiting so long for. Surprise! It's about ultimate despair! Huh? Even though the term ultimate despair refers to a group these days. It was originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared, but also beautiful person alive.
What was that last one?
Smart! A high school girl? Lady! Junko Enoshima. Junko Enoshima. As the former ultimate despair, she created a despair brimming with charm and humor. And created the ultimate despairs. There was one really horrible person in that group.
Hold on a sec. I don't know what the ultimate despairs are, but it's not that easy to form an organization. There's no way people would join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl.
Humans who are obsessed with their philosophy have an uncanny power to attract others. It's a trait shared by many famous... Huh?
Aunties.
Oh. It's a trait shared by... It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? There's nothing strange about it. That holds true for Lady Junko. With her charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those in the highest echelons of... Her connections were the main reason that incident became the tragedy in the first place, with a capital T. So she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat?
And what was their purpose?
What?
Like I said, why did they cause that incident? Doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There's no way they'd do what they did without any purpose.
It was Junko Enoshima's despair. Huh? For Junko Enoshima, despair isn't about purpose, a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Enoshima as Junko Enoshima. What are you saying? I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime is a human. It's exactly like that. Junko Enoshima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving. For her, everything is despair. What the hell? With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs one by one. She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other, yet that idea had been slammed right into their head. And so the ultimate despairs who had been recruited became nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was dedicated to Junko Enoshima. Like believers making offerings to their god. Like a mother providing food to her children. They dedicated all despair so they could escape from despair, all in Junko Enoshima's name. For example, they killed their families and friends, and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation. And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed it was something that they had to do. There's no way something that crazy is possible! Do you know about the final days of the Reserve Corps students during the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Final days? Junko has the power to change people's values. This is also true of famous people throughout history. Hey, what do you mean final days? What happened to the reserve department? They fulfilled their role as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to. And so, the 2,357 students of the reserve department all committed mass suicide. A suicide?
All 2,357 students?
Oops, it wasn't all of them. One person was excluded. One person was excluded? Huh? Is that me?
I don't believe it. There's no way I can believe this. Ultimate despair. Junko Enoshima. Doesn't scare me at all. I mean, Junko Enoshima is already dead.
Huh? Oh no! Hey, Fuyuhiko, is it true what you said? Junko Enoshima is really dead?
What? You didn't see. There was a book called Manga for Morons, Killing School Life in that bloody classroom.
A bloody classroom? No, wait, what was that you said about the killing school life? Like the killings we were involved in, they were killings that happened at Hope's Peak Academy. As I recall, the mastermind took her own life because the remaining students worked together to defeat her.
Yeah, that's what it was. The Killing School Life ended up failing in the end. As a result, the 6 students who survived managed to escape from the academy. For a manga about the Killing School Life, it was drawn with a lot of silly images and dumb gags. According to that, the mastermind behind the failed Killing School Life was Junko Enoshima.
The mastermind took her own life, which means Junko Enoshima is dead!
turns out that killing school life was part of that whole big whatever incident. Junko took away the memories of former students of Hope's Peak Academy and forced them to kill each other.
Former students of Hope's Peak Academy, and she took away their memories. That's just like us. It was never explained how she was able to do it, though.
No, it wasn't. Apparently, the whole thing was being filmed by surveillance cameras and broadcast worldwide. There's a limit to being a cruel asshole.
The surveillance cameras were broadcasting the whole thing?
The students of Hope's Peak Academy are widely known as symbols of hope. By forcing people to watch these symbols of hope kill each other for the sake of survival, they were trying to kill everyone who watched the broadcast of despair all at once.
That's messed up!
That messed up plan was stopped. Junko and Ashima failed. Junko lost to the students she placed in her trap, and after being overcome by the despair she created, she took her own life.
Then Junko is no more.
No matter how horrible she was, there's no reason to fear someone who's dead. Whether Monokuma's story is true or not doesn't matter. Junko and Ashima isn't alive anymore.
Then... who is our enemy? If Junko and Ashima is already dead, are the rest of the Ultimate Despairs behind this? Are the followers of Junko carrying out her will? That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, the killings we're involved in resemble that killing school life.
Well, I don't know who the hell is imitating Junko and making us go through this, but... an imitation is just that. An imitation. If the students from Hope's Peak Academy stop the real deal, there's no way we'll lose to some fake.
But if this is really an imitation, are those surveillance cameras the same too? The cameras all over Jabberwock Island. Are they broadcasting this somewhere? Just like the surveillance cameras during the school life? Killing school? Man, Hajime, you totally know about that story, huh? What? Do you have a problem with that? Well, I really wanted you to do the manga version since I took the time to draw. Oh well, I'll just raise the flag. Flag? What do you mean raise the flag? What's going to happen if you do that? One step at a time, you're getting closer to clearing my character route. You're not making sense again. Now then, I'll give you guys my all. I'll tell you everything I know, including information on the outside and the inside. I'll raise them flags like crazy! What a surprise! Do you want to hear about the Ultimate Despairs again? No, I don't really need you to. Even though the term Ultimate Despair refers to a group these days. It was actually a term used to describe Junko Enoshima, the original Ultimate Despair. He just started on his own. As the formal Ultimate Despair, she created a despair brimming with charm and humor. And created the Ultimate Despairs. With her charismatic ability, blah 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 blah. I'll read that again. It's fine already. You don't have to keep. Huh? It's fine already? But I'm just getting to the good part. Good part or not, I've already heard this from you before.
The Killing School Life is about how former students of Hope's Peak Academy had their memories taken away and were forced to kill each other. The students of Hope's Peak Academy are widely known as symbols of hope by forcing these.
Huh? It changed to a different hallway again. It's so sudden. What's going on to make something like this happen? No, I've already decided that I'm not going to be surprised. That's right. There's no time for me to be surprised by something like this. Hagen is twitching her nose like a beast and examining her surroundings. That's the Renzel beast.
No!
Hey, what happened?
Well, you know, it's just my gut, but I feel like someone's getting closer.
Huh? What do you mean? Who?
I don't know, it's just my gut after all. It's just my gut.
You have no gut. But still, her gut is pretty impressive. For some reason, it's strangely intuitive. And Monokuma did say something about the main cast coming. It's surprising, but her gut must be correct again this time.
Kimi Hatch? Look at her! Oh, she can fly!
Do we have anything?
We got Earring of Crushed Evil.
She looks like she fights evil.
Maybe she...
We know your secret.
Kiss note. There you go.
Yay, no despair. The way it just floats there. This looks like the music room. I feel like I can see something strange. You feel Looks like it's some sort of monument? Why would there be a monument in a music room?
Wasn't this the place where the worst scene happened? Where we
she
got
was
a
like-
not choice.
Yeah. Let me tell her!
I was so mad.
Just so I can hear you go, let me tell her! Let me tell her! And not just that. The mark engraved into the monument is the symbol of the Future Foundation, right? Below that symbol, there's a short passage engraved. To combat the tragedy, the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy were among the many who established the Future Foundation. Huh? The Future Foundation was established by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy? Aren't they known as World Ender? This is completely different. Monokuma. He completely made it up! What is this? Words are floating in the air! This is like a hologram, right? The floating letters are forming a sentence. It looks like a passage from an email. Regarding the report we gave you the other day, we have obtained information. A person who claims to be a survivor of Hope's Peak Academy. Upon further investigation, there are a total of 15 survivors. You may be wondering about the number of people at this time. If they're survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, it's possible they may be targeted by ultimate despair. We believe we should acquire them and place them in our care as soon as possible. Though I don't believe the group can go that far without Junko and Oshima rallying them. In a worst-case scenario, we must prevent a repeat of the killing school life. Also, if they are survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, we should expect them to be quite valuable to us. However, we are still investigating the details of their origins and we haven't located them either. We will continue investigating this matter. Also, regarding a separate matter, we have received a report from the research facility on Jabberwock Island. Preparations have been completed. It seems we can proceed with the experimental phase of the Neo World program. Survivors of Hope's Peak Academy? 15 students? Is that about us? Excluding Chiaki's part of the Future Foundation, there were definitely 15 of us. What does survivors mean? It's like they're talking from some other world. What happened outside Jabberwock Island? If the tragedy is really true, then the world isn't normal anymore. Maybe. I'm starting to feel like we might be better off not remembering the memories we've lost. I guess that's all the clues in this room. It's finally confirmed. The Future Foundation is on our side, at least. They were founded by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy, and they took us in to protect us. But if that's true, Chiaki should have made that clear to us. No, as long as Monokuma was around, she probably couldn't say anything carelessly. Monokuma. If he's the Future Foundation's enemy, then his true identity must be the ultimate despairs who caused the tragedy and The ones who are carrying out the will of Junko Enoshima are making us go through this. Also, this caught my attention in the email too. What is this research facility on Jabberwock Island mentioned in the email? What's that about? The only Future Foundation facility we found was that ancient ruin. There's no way that's the research facility. If there really is a research facility on this island, there should be other Future Foundation members here. Somehow, there are still so many mysteries.
And with that, we'll end this episode right here. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you next time. Bye! 'Twas about masks, making all the lassies wear them. You mean a masked ball? A masquerade? I didn't know the rich birds are so horrid. I don't think it's because of that. Did he say why the masks are so important to him? It had something to do with the elders, the families, lots of lords and ladies waiting to trade their daughters and only one prince. Too much competition's bad for business and tempers. So he's trying to dodge accusations of being biased. Clever. I knew that.